Are we looking at the death of sealed box investing? The Amazon dump has players in crisis wondering what they should be doing about sealed product. Having your belief in something shaken is never an easy thing to go through. Welcome back everyone, MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. And before we get started in today's video, a shout out and thank you to everyone who's been hitting the subscribe button, turning on the notification bells, thumbs up on the videos, and watching my daily uploaded content each and every day. Thanks again everyone for being here. We are getting closer to 20,000 subscribers every day, and every subscriber counts, so thanks again for taking the time to do that, guys. It's epic. And of course, at 19,000 subscribers, the rules for the 20K party will be released. I'll prepare a video so everyone has time to prepare for when we get to 20,000. Now, let's talk about this. This is a big video today. There's a lot going on because I myself am a sealed box investor, as you can tell. I got a lot of stuff in the background. But let's talk about what's happened. The Amazon dump, and that's what it was, has had like multi-ripple effects everywhere now. Because there's a lot to unpack with what just happened. Yes, they cleared excess stock off the shelves, out of their warehouses, dumped it on the open market, got what they thought was fair dollar value. They just want to fill the coffers with some money for the next quarter. You know, the next quarterly report that comes out to the shareholders. And they're going to do a good job. People are going to buy it. But let me ask you guys something. I want you to think for a second about failed collectibles. Think Beanie Babies, Cabbage Patch Kids, Trolls, little Smurfs from the 80s. Think about all the toys that never quite made it, all the collectibles that kind of went scratch and sniff stickers you used to pay $5 for back in the day. Where are all those things now? Because that's where we're headed if Wizards of the Coast doesn't get a handle on things. For all those products that get cleared out of Amazon, for all the people out there who buy sealed product from whatever store to sit on. And that's what's happening right now. Those Amazon boxes are not all being opened. When people buy 3-4 boxes, use a different account, 3-4 boxes, they're going to keep it at home. They're going to keep it stored in the backdrop in hopes that they can double or triple or quadruple their money somewhere down the road. That's generally what I believe. That is my opinion when I see people doing that because I've done it myself. I don't do it on the scale of the big boys out there, but I do this, okay? I've done it in the past. I just haven't done it since I've joined YouTube. I tend to keep my product. I try to keep my stuff. And I haven't bought a lot of new stuff because I don't believe in it. I don't believe it has the value that Wizards is trying to associate with those products. And that leaves people with that problem. Who are you going to sell to? Who are those boxes going to in the future? This is the problem that faced Fallen Empires, Homelands. Other sets have already gone through this. This is the history of Magic. We've seen this happen before. You just got to look over your shoulder and count back a number of years. Wizards got really good at production numbers around 2005, 2006, all the way through to about 2012. They messed up with Ravnica. Return to Ravnica got kind of messed up. And before that, it was a bad time for Magic. And that little sweet spot, Zendikar, all those kind of sets in there, right? Alara. They all had lower print runs. They were one and done. Things moved on, and you didn't have to worry about it. So the value on those sets is kind of there. We look at Avacyn and stuff. They're all good. They're all good. They're solid. But even those sets have people who collected them and are sitting on them right now. Got some in the backdrop. Got some at home. Got some sealed cases down below, depending on where you are. Now, I don't normally do this, but I gotta take a drink. Looks like something got caught in the throat. I apologize, everyone. Just one of those moments where you're like, oh, I gotta take a drink of something. So, back on task here. When you think about these products and who you would sell to in the future, if you were a person trying to sell for money, if you're just buying a single box because you want to collect it, you want to look at it, makes perfect sense. Makes sense. Anyone can justify a single item. And maybe one of every booster box that comes out fits into your price range, great. But when you see people who buy cases and start mounting them up and start talking about it like this is an investable, yes. Previously, even I believe these were very investable because I've sold them for a lot of money in the past. But you have to have a market to sell to. You have to have people who believe they're worth money. And that's where things are starting to unravel. How can I have faith that these products are worth something? when they dump them on the market. When they're sitting on store shelves at my local LGS, where in the past, they never would. But Zendikar sold out back in the day. Rise of the Eldrazi sold out. World Wake sold out. But then when you started getting to things like even Innistrad was on the shelf for years. Avacyn was on the store shelves for years before it finally sold out. That's when they started kind of ramping things up, and it's gotten away from them. To the point, if they're not careful, nobody's going to believe it. The reprinting is bad enough that people believe the secondary cards are losing value. When you start believing and hitting the core investor types that they don't believe it anymore, Wizards is going to be losing money in terms of those investment dollars. They'll still get lots of sales from people cracking boxes for that, people want to play with them. But you will lose a certain segment of the population of Magic who hoards boxes in the backdrop, even if it's just 1 in 100 who buys a few extra boxes. Those boxes don't get bought. They don't get sold to distribution, and eventually it makes its way back, and Wizards jacks the price. It's a kind of an ugly cycle to go through when you think about these things en masse. Because it's not just me we're talking about. It's not just you. It's everyone who watched this video. It's everyone who buys from their local LGS, because it has rippling effects that go all the way back. Right back to Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. Now, for some of you, you're saying, good for them. They need to fix these distribution numbers. They need to tighten the controls. But they're not likely to do that. Not to the extent people want them to. Anyone would want your cards and want those sealed boxes to be worth money because you spent money on, you want them to be worth money. I want to be able to sell this Zendikar, Battle for Zendikar Fat Pack. I want to sell this for $250. But it's only worth $110. Now it's probably worth $90, maybe even $80, maybe $70 as people lose faith. Here's the sad, hard truth. Wizards of the Coast doesn't care that you've got sealed product at home. They already sold it to you. They don't care what happens afterwards. As far as they're concerned, it's out of the picture. Out of the picture. And really, by the way, there's nothing stopping them from reprinting a whole box again. Nothing on paper anyway. I mean, chances are they wouldn't, but there's nothing stopping them from doing it. All those factors start keying, it makes you wonder, right? It makes you less sure about buying anything. Not the playability factor, not that the cards aren't cool, but the collectible factor. This is a collectible card game that less and less people are collecting, and more players are just playing. So that means if you're playing it and not collecting it, people aren't keeping boxes at home, people aren't trading the boxes or selling the boxes, and those who are taking losses on boxes in the future. I almost guarantee it. They're expecting to double X their money. I'm not sure that's going to be the case. Because if people don't believe in it, if you don't have enough people backing it, it's hard to buy these things. And I know that people like Alpha Investments, Rudy and those guys, the Taco King himself, sells these boxes every day. I get it. And people buy them. Some people buy them to open, but some people do buy to hold on to them. Maybe not a huge portion anymore, but there are some. And how do those people feel now? How do things go around? When you see boxes on sale, you think you're getting a good deal. And you buy the box, but are you opening it? Are you looking for the singles? Are you going to build a deck with it? Are you going to have a Friday night draft with some friends? Everyone's going to share the cost of, that. No. You put it on a shelf. You put it in a closet. You say, I'll save that for later. It was a good deal. It'll probably go up to like $300-400 in a few years. The fallacy of it, because that's not what's happening now. People have less faith. If you have people like me who used to buy cases, buying nothing. Nothing. I buy like a single box that I put in the backdrop now. I'm not buying what I used to buy. I'm going back into more reserve list buying. Now, I'm not saying you guys are buying reserve list cards, but that's where things end up going. And the funny thing is, the video yesterday, where I talked about the singles going down, and today's video, where I'm talking about the sealed boxes going down, the idea of this, it's still a card watch video. This is still a financial look at cards and cardboard. I didn't name them card watch videos. I didn't say these are cards you should be buying because there's nothing to buy right now. There are singles you might want to get, but you can wait for the prices to fall. There might be boxes you want to get, wait for the prices to fall. I would normally say, don't forget to use my TCG Player affiliate link when you're picking up your cards. But right now, I would say wait. Which means, I think you should wait. If you want to get a box that's on sale on Amazon, go ahead. Want to buy 20 boxes? Go ahead. I don't think it's a great use of your money personally, but go ahead. It's your money, your cash. But who are you going to sell those boxes to? Who is going to be your customer? Who is going to want them? What are they going to want them for? How will the nostalgia carry forward when there's a lot of negativity in the air right now? That negativity carries over the decades. moments like 30th anniversary will never be forgotten. It'll carry that bad taste for decades. And somewhere in there, you are hoping that Wizards of the Coast corrects itself. If they have no reason to correct themselves, they're not going to. They'll just keep trucking along, dumping things as they need to, reprinting cards as they need to, and it is in their right to do so. But you can't go in thinking they're going to fix it, because they're not. They don't owe you anything after they bought those cards. After you got the cards into your hand, the box into your hand, that's where the transaction ends. And like so many other failed collectibles, like Beanie Babies, like every other toy you kind of think of like Furby and stuff, they may come back around. Those things do have waves and cycles. Magic cards are going to be played forever, I think. I think this game has the longevity you can't believe. But I think the collectability factor, who people sell things to, that market right now is on very shaky ground. And players are trying to find that footing that will tell them what they should do. And without reassurances from Wizards of the Coast, some kind of press release and things, we've talked about how bad their PR is. Without those things putting a solid foot on the ground, telling you what's happening, reassuring the consumer, on the collectible side anyway, nothing's going to change. And if nothing changes, it just gets more and more shaky. And if later on they do correct it, yeah, somebody's going to make a lot of money. Because whoever did decide to take that risk, they took more risk, and that means they're going to get more reward. But I don't hedge my bets on stuff like that. I don't play that way. I'm a much more cautious person than most. I play a very level-headed way of trying to spend my money and save whenever I can. That's what I recommend. But again, this is just a YouTube channel. And right now, we're on very shaky ground. I want you guys to remember that. Who are you going to sell to is the biggest question. Risk versus reward. There's better places for your money right now than buying those boxes to sit in a closet for 10 years. That's all I'm saying. Keep that stuff in mind. Okay, guys? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Let me know what you're thinking right now for your collectible world of Magic the Gathering. You buying sealed boxes? Are you sitting on some? Did you buy some? Because we don't get those deals in Canada. Nothing came our way, but I know you guys in the States, you cleaned up big time. I know some people sent me some photos. So let me know how it's going. I got to know. Are you buying? Are you collecting? Are you saving? Are you hoping for something better? Let's see what we're talking about here. And thanks again for joining the conversation. Don't forget, it's an amazing card game. And always bring a friend to Magic. I'll see you guys tomorrow. A big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons of the channel. Thanks again for that continued support that allows for daily uploaded content of my channel to everyone on YouTube. The patrons make it happen. Thanks again for being there and supporting me each and every day. Patrons rule. You made it back to the Ramble Jamble section. Let's talk about this. Now, Magic is not going anywhere. You made it to the end of the video. I'll be honest. We're not going anywhere. It does look very bleak. Could Wizards auto-correct? Absolutely they can. They can choose to do what they want. They could tighten print runs. They could say it's a one and done. They could do things to change this around whenever they want. We're not at the edge of a cliff yet. And these deals look amazing. I know we've talked about people like Rudy and myself. I've heard tighter production runs are coming and things are being tightened up. But that doesn't mean that it's as tight as we need it to be. It just means maybe they shaved some boxes off because the Magic population shrunk down. There's extra stuff sticking around. Whatever it could be, there's lots of reasons. I just can't buy into it right now. I need to see facts and stuff like that to reassure me, and there's nothing there. There's nothing to bite into to say, I saw it. It's like your belief in something. You want to see it. You want to believe it. You want to feel it. I don't feel it from the company right now. So I haven't bought anything. It's not that the products aren't good. I don't believe the value is there to make me buy sealed boxes. That's a scary thing. I'm just buying reserve list cards. I've told you guys this. I've been able to buy crazy stuff like this because it's cheaper than buying a couple of new boxes nowadays. That's the world we're living in. And I'll take every advantage. I don't care if reserve list cards go to zero. I want to own them. And I'll buy on the dip because I want to own them. That's my nostalgic stage as me growing up. We all collect crazy things. And crazy collectibles go in cycles. Some things like comics, they're kind of eternal. They're always going to have some kind of value. It's like artwork, right? These could go the same way. No problem. I really believe they could become museum stuff that I might see at the ROM when I'm an old man. I can see that stuff happening. But at the same time, sealed boxes, although cool, a lot of people do it for money. Who's going to buy it? Where's it going to go? Who's going to take care of it? And what's the end result? What's the result people want? And since most people are thinking the same way, I'm going to make money. Like any collectible, when you see some collectible tin that says special edition collectible, you know it's not collectible. You can still enjoy it. You can still buy them and have them, but it's like the plates in NASCAR. They just sit there on a shelf. You get old, everyone goes, these are worth like $2 each, and they throw them all away. Keep that in mind. Love the game, love to play. Gonna keep my entire sealed collection, but I can't invest more money if I don't think there's value there. If my belief is shaken, you're not getting my cash. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here for the Ramble Jap. You know what? Shop smart. Oh, you already know what I'm going to say. Shop smart. All right. What, you want me to click the video off now? I got to take a sip of coffee. I still have coffee. Still like the combo cards too. I know I overpaid for these now, but I don't care. When you love something, it doesn't matter what people think. You have a good time doing it. Okay, I'll turn it off. Fine, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Top 10.